We are into this for 25 years, and this is a 40 million year old animal, and we have just started to scratch the surface of what we know. We just are at the very beginning, but knowing that the vitamin K2, MK4 is in there in such a high quantity, this has opened so many doors, and we can take it now from there. But before that, we just knew what it did.
I felt like I was in Jurassic Park when I visited Wigand Schaletzki at his emu farm in Australia just in 2019. I was like, these creatures look prehistoric. They were amazing. You'll see all of my interactions with them and with Wigand as he told me about the benefits of emu oil and how it is replete in nutrients that our bodies need, including, of course, vitamin K2. It was a fascinating time, and we had a little fun with the emu too, so check it out. Look at this egg.
Yeah.
It does look prehistoric. Oh my gosh. I had no idea it was this big.
This is a medium size.
Yes,
it's not a
they
big
get bigger than
one.
that.
Sometimes you get double yolkers, they are up to a kilo. They are pretty big.
Wow. They really do look prehistoric. Wigand, on the ride over here, you were telling me that you've been emu farming for how long?
25 years.
So you know a thing or two about these animals.
A little bit.
And did you know when you got started that they had this amazing oil that would be so beneficial to people?
No, it was a process. Initially, the emu farmers concentrated on the skins, the leather and the meat. But I was lucky to meet my business partner, Phil Lacey, and he was concentrating on the fat and the oil. And he had Aboriginal friends, and they told him all about the benefits of emu oil, and that's why he said, okay, we are going for the oil. And that is the reason why we are still in it, because everyone else who went for leather and meat is not there anymore.
Wow. So this is a long-standing tradition among the indigenous people of Australia to take advantage of the oil. Would they take it as medicine?
They would. They have their own methods of application, and the emu is the provider of food and medicine for the Aboriginal people, and emu oil has a long tradition to be used as a medicine for maybe arthritis, burns and other conditions, and as we now know, there's so much more in it.
Yes, like vitamins A, D, E.
Oh, they are all fat-soluble vitamins are basically in it. It is a synergy which is life-supporting for the birds over many months, weeks and months without feed and water. So everything is in that oil. It's possibly like any other hibernating animal that stays asleep for 3 months plus and just lives off its fat reserves, and the emu has such a life-supporting fat.
So the emu needed it, and then the indigenous people knew it would be good for them as well.
Yes.
And what Dr. Price found when he went around the world is that the traditional diets were rich in these fat-soluble vitamins, and a vitamin he didn't even know the name of. He called it Activator X, and we believe that's vitamin K that's found in the emu oil as well, right?
That is correct, and that is due to Dr. Price's research and the Western Price Foundation. We knew a lot about the benefits of what the oil is doing, but the real reason became obvious after talking to the Western Price Foundation and confirming on request of the Western Price Foundation that the vitamin K2, MK4 levels are very high in emu oil. They are the highest we know, and Western Price know.
And now I know you can't make any health claims about this because it's not a medicine, it's a food supplement, but just tell us anecdotally about some changes or some things that people saw as a result of taking emu oil.
I think anyone who does research into vitamin K2, MK4 and its synergy with D3, AE, fat-soluble vitamins, the health benefits are exactly what the emu oil represents. So like we have neurological problems improving, like MS or Parkinson's. That's it's highly anti-inflammatory. That means arthritis and so on is kept at bay or treated, healed, and it is anti-angiogenic as well, which means it attacks little inflammation centers in the bowel or anywhere, and it shuts down the blood supply to like tumors, things like that. So that's anti-angiogenic. In other words, the tumors that may be in there are cut off their blood supplies. And the emu oil is highly anti-angiogenic and highly anti-inflammatory, and all our diseases are based on hidden inflammations somewhere. And well, if that's attacked, well, we have a wonder medicine.
It sounds like it. So tell us, last but not least, one of the most interesting facts about these birds that we might not know.
Well, we are into this for 25 years, and this is a 40 million year old animal, and we have just started to scratch the surface of what we know. We just are at the very beginning, but knowing that the vitamin K2, MK4 is in there in such a high quantity, this has opened so many doors, and we can take it now from there. But before that, we just knew what it did, but now we know why it does it. And that's basically it. Take a bit out. Do you want to?
Is it emu oil?
It's emu oil.
I thought it was cleaning
But it's
product.
cold. It's cold.
It's what?
It's cold. That's why
Okay,
it's
that's
solid.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Here it goes. Oh, it is solid.
You can lick it.
I can?
Yeah.
What will it taste like?
I don't know. You find out. You'll grow feathers, but that's all.
That's good. It's just like butter.
Yeah.
Tell me more about the emu. What species is it?
The emu belongs to the family of the ratites, which are the flightless birds, and other birds belonging to the same family is the ostrich from Africa, the rhea or nandu from South America, the kiwi from New Zealand, and the cassowary up in northern Australia and Papua New Guinea. And the emu, of course, is the one from Australia, native to Australia.
And what do these birds have in common?
They are flightless. They don't have wings, and the emu is the only exception with building up this periodic seasonal fat storage, which allows it to survive through lengthy periods of time of no food and no water availability, like it happens in the Australian desert, and as it happens when the bird sits on his eggs for over 54 days without eating or drinking. So it's a life-sustaining synergy with everything in there which is required to survive. And in the case of emu, for millions of years. Very successful mix.
Reminds me of bears that hibernate and they can last a long time without
That would be very similar.
taking anything.
It's a bear, the hedgehog, the squirrel. They all collect food to survive through winter, build up a fat storage, and then they are fit to go for the next season when the sun comes out, when the conditions are more agreeable again.
And so if it's good for the emu itself, then perhaps its oil has properties that will help us do the same thing, kind of last a long time.
Having the highest quality of fat-soluble ingredients, that's the omegas 369, the enzymes, the vitamins A, E, D3, K4, MK4, and as I think I mentioned before, that oil or that fat has the highest K2, MK4 content known so far. There may be others, but I've never heard of anything better than that.
And those fat-soluble vitamins, in synergy, as you've said, do tremendous things for our brain function, for our overall health, for our lowering inflammation, right?
Yes, it's just keeping the system at its optimum function. It closes the gap which we nowadays have with our nutrition.
So talk to me a little bit about how the Aboriginal people, the indigenous people to Australia, use the emu or the emu oil.
This is a bit difficult because there is no written history. It's a word of mouth sort of a thing, but there are stories out there that when people got sick, inflammations, things like that, they would wrap them in an emu skin with the fat and wrap them up and put them into a hole in the ground and leave them there for a few days. And then when they came out, they were good again. That is one of the anecdotal things, but I don't think this is enough information. You better ask some Aboriginal people when you meet them.
Yes.
I think you will get much more out of that. Just remember to ask them these questions.
I will.
Mine is just hearsay, but they know what they have done for the last 40,000 years.
So I wanted to wrap up by asking you, Dr. Weston A. Price, his key finding was that traditional diets had a very high level of vitamins A, D, E, and K. In other words, their nutrient density was stellar. Is that, how do you see the emu oil playing a part in what Dr. Price found?
I think that's the ultimate proof. This is several million years of history where an animal has survived under the worst condition you can imagine, just living off its fat storage, which contains anything that's required or everything that's required to survive. It's a survival fat, and all these fat-soluble vitamins you have mentioned, they must go together with vitamin K2, MK4, hence the X factor. That was the missing link, and thanks to the Western Price Foundations, we were alerted to that, and from there on, everything falls into place. It makes so much more sense now. We are on a hot track, thanks to the Western Price Foundation.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And you're helping so many people with their oil.
Yes, exactly. So the benefits are just amazing.
Thanks for watching, you guys. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this video. Subscribe so you don't miss a thing, and click on the notification bell so you can be alerted the next time I upload a video. We'll talk soon. Hasta pronto.